Hey there everybody, redxparasite here, and welcome back to Let's Play Metroid Prime 2. So this is going to be the bonus video where I'm going to show off the bonus content that you unlock for beating Metroid Prime 2 in the trilogy version. So, first things first, there was one scan that I did technically miss when I was playing the game, and that's the Boost Guardian scan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to splice in a clip of me getting that scan here so that you can see it, and then once we get back we'll get into the bonus content. Okay, so going here to the extras, you can see we have one leftover Prime 1 credit, and we have 15 Prime 2 credits and 18 boss credits. So we have some concept art that we can unlock here. So I'm going to go through and unlock all of these to start, and then we'll go through and view them. I believe you should have two Prime 2 credits left over once you buy everything, and they get used for something that unfortunately we're not going to be able to buy in this particular game at this time, but I'll get into why that is later. So here's the promo art package. Now I think this is better overall than some of the Prime 1 concept art that they have. A lot of it's just a lot cleaner, and I'm not going to do the zoom on everything, but you can zoom in if you want a little more detail on some of the stuff. So there's actually some pretty detailed renders of the Luminoth. I think this is Umos in particular. But there's an Ing warrior, different angle. Here's some of the more kind of sketch work. Now I think this was originally what was going to be on the cover, and you can see it kind of gets more and more developed here. And I'm pretty sure there's a picture of the original cover before they changed it somewhere in the promo art, so to keep our eyes peeled for that. But here's kind of a mock-up of the menus, so looks pretty cool. So I think these were probably intended for maybe the end screen stuff, you know, like once you complete the mission, but they ended up being a little bit different in the final version of the game. So we have some poses of Samus in the Very suit. You know, vote for Samus. Okay, so this is some interesting arts here. Like this is kind of reminiscent of like Andy Warhol for me. Just kind of the same image repeated over and over again, just with different colorations. So again, it's a really cool pose. I'll probably try to speed up a little bit through it, just because we do have like a lot of art to get through. So actually, this might be the pose that was on the cover that I was thinking of. Again, this is some more promo art. See if they actually show. Yeah, here it is. So this is the image that was on the original cover, which I thought looked really cool at the time, because I believe when they were doing promotions for this game before it came out, they had this cover like shown for the cover of the game, and it looked really cool. If you ask me, I think this actually looks a little bit cooler than the final cover that we ended up getting. But okay, so that was so that was the promo art. So here are the storyboards. Now, it's really hard to read these because the images, you can only zoom in so far, and the images aren't that high quality, but they do kind of show some of the storyboarding of how the cutscenes were made to play out. And if you go back and watch the cutscenes, you can actually see some of the stuff that they mentioned here. Although, what's interesting to note is that in these storyboards here, they're using the Prime 1 ship and not the one that's in Prime 2, which is modeled after the Super Metroid one. So that's kind of interesting. So, although it does actually, see that they did change the landing gear here though, because this does match the Prime 2 landing gear. So Sam's coming out of the ship, kind of doing the spin around, and then the jump and the landing. So this is all the very first cutscene in the game. So this is the first time you walk into the portal in Aegon Wastes. And then so the portal animation, which we saw many, many times. And then, of course, exiting the portal. I think, yeah, this also includes the part where she walks forward afterward, reaches her hand out and kind of touches the dark atmosphere and realizes that it's like grape soda. So, I think this is something different, though. Is this... this might be Dark Samus fight? Trying to see. No, it just looks like another portal. Fade out. Yeah, maybe this was just an alternate portal animation. Let's see. Ah, here's the Dark Samus clip. Okay. Yeah, I remember they had the storyboard stuff for this, so them firing at each other. So, some pretty cool stuff. If only you could actually read the text next to it, that would be great. I mean, I could probably try to make out some of it, but it's not an easy thing to do. So, this is the last one in the storyboard package. So, after that, we have some sketches. Yeah, some of these, I don't know what they were going for with these. There's like really artsy, like this is clearly some early stuff for the Warrior Ring. Some of the other enemies, you have like really spiky designs in this stage of development. Looks like some architecture there. Preliminary designs for the Luminoth. I'm always intrigued to see some of the suit designs, because, you know, the ones that we end up getting look really nice, but some of these are a little bit more out there in terms of the armor plates and everything. So this looks like the Galactic Federation Marine armor, or at least an early concept of it. So here's that title screen in sketch form. Emperor Ing, there's, you know, Samus down there to scale. Dark Samus. Some arms. There's an early sketch of a Morbus. Some enemies. More enemies. It's kind of hard to tell what some of this stuff is supposed to be. That looks like a wing. Now this was actually really cool. It says Digital Dark World, so maybe this was kind of early concept art of what the Ing Hive ended up being. So here's the Luminoff alphabet. So, or at least some of the language. So I believe most, if not all, of these are represented through the lore entries in some form. So the holograms that we scan to get the lore entries from the Luminoff take on these shapes. Oh yeah, no. So they do give an alphabet for it. So I'm not sure if you can translate the lore entries in the game and if they mean anything. I've never tried. It would certainly be an interesting task because you'd have to. Well, I guess in the actual logbook you could kind of pause them and rotate them and maybe figure out how to do that. But I'm not sure how you'd read them. So I'm sure there's some rhyme or reason behind it, but it would be a difficult thing to kind of decrypt. It's kind of like Gallifreyan, although maybe even a little bit harder than that. Right, sketch package, so creature package. So these all look kind of mechanical for the most part. Let's see. So a lot of these don't really look familiar to me as far as enemies that I recognize from the final game. So I wonder how many, of these preliminary designs actually made it to the final stage. Like, you can see, I think most of the enemies here were represented in the final game. Like, that's the Dark Flogus, Triclops, Puffers. Well, actually, I think they're preed in this game. But yeah, we're starting to see some of the more finalized ones. Baby Metroids. Let's see, here are the Splinters and the Dark Splinters. The Pill Bugs. So these are actually early designs for the blogs because the coloration is not the same as in-game, because the blogs in-game are black, whereas the the baby blogs are kind of this aqua color, or maybe more like turquoise. Got the Kraly. I think these are like hoppers. Grenchler. Sand diggers. So actually, this rendering of the Resbit looks really cool. So again, some more things that look like they didn't make it into the game. It looks like maybe they had. Actually, that's probably a Morbus, but maybe these are some different designs for that. Here are the quads, although they don't look as gray as they do in game. Shriekers. And they kind of go through the entire coloring process there. This is probably an early... I'm forgetting what they're called. Ink Smasher. So that looks a little bit closer to the final design. It's Hunter Ing. This one looks really cool. It kind of had the colors just kind of streaking off of it. Kind of the same thing with this one. There's, I think that's Jump Guardian, Grapple Guardian, and we're back to the beginning. So it's got creature package, so we have 2 more. So these ones are probably going to be Luminos. So actually, yeah, I think this one's a repeat from some of the promo art ones. So there's a Space Pirate. Yeah, the Space Pirate design in this game actually I thought was a little better than Prime 1. Not that Prime 1's Space Pirates are necessarily bad, but kind of streamlined their design a little bit better in this game. This looks like an early Pirate Commando. maybe another alternate design there. So some of these designs actually look similar to like this one in particular, the Metroid game that shall not be named. I'm just kidding. It's Other M. But I would say that probably my favorite Galactic Federation Marine Trooper design is that of like this game or Prime 3, because Prime 3 actually kept a similar design style to this. So we've got some morph ball designs. Actually, the light suit morph ball changed. You know, like the various suit and the dark suit ones look pretty much like they do in game, but this one actually had kind of a bigger section open in the middle. It kind of glowed yellow, where I think it just glows white in the main game. Some more promo art of Samus. So actually, something to be noted here, her arm cannon is actually different in this piece of art, where obviously it's stayed the same in game. Here's the light suit, kind of what it looks like, you know, when you're in the process of getting it in game and it glows. And I remember seeing this piece of promo art actually of her kind of screw attacking above, you know, what would later be Sanctuary Fortress. And the last one is the boss package. So there's Morbus, you know, very pretty. It looks a little bit better with the, if you want to call it a mask, but it's a little bit better with that on. So here's the Chica larva form, the adult, and it looks like they skipped the dark adult form and just went straight to Quadraxis here. See, again, they actually had kind of a tan coloring on the body for it, but you know, ended up with going a little bit more towards the gray. Here's the uncovered head module. So some pretty cool stuff. Dark Samus. Not sure what some of this stuff is actually supposed to be. So I think these must have been designs for Dark Samus at one point, since this is the boss package. Yeah, that one's a little out there. Kind of reminds me of like old Star Trek, and some of the designs for like things that, you know, aliens wore. So I do think the final design that we got for Dark Samus, which is a little bit closer to this, is pretty good. And here's the super creepy version from, you know, the final fight, where you can see all of like the internal organs. But this is some pretty cool concept art. And then last but not least, the quote-unquote final boss, Emperor Ing, Chrysalis. Its final form, which you have now seen. And then I'm not sure what those are supposed to be, but so that will do it for the concept art. Which will probably end up taking up most of this video. So if you're wondering where those last 1 and 2 credits go, it's for the screenshot tool. But there's nothing else for us to actually get in the bonus gallery, so we're just going to go straight to the soundtrack gallery. Because that will be the last stuff that we can actually unlock for Prime 2. So I'm going to go and unlock all these tracks, and I will see you when I do. Alright, so that is everything. So this is the menu theme. Well, actually, it's not the menu theme. It's the I guess it's the title theme, you'd say. So this is what plays in Prime 2 when you're loading up the game initially. And animation is actually pretty cool. So definitely a really cool track. Some more ambient music. So this is the music for the temple grounds. This is the music that plays when you talk to Lumos. I don't know. I must have Harry Potter on the brain. Umos. And then, Aegon Wastes. Probably my least favorite area in terms of music. I know it's a little bit more on the kind of ambient side of things, but doesn't do as much for me. So this is some of the battle music. And I think this plays during all of the Guardian fights, so all of those mini bosses use this fight as well. Even the one, well, I guess they're technically all Ing since they are inhabiting other things. Even the ones that didn't really look like Ing. So, first major boss, Morbus. They call it the Torvus Catacombs. I think most people generally refer to this track as the Undertemple theme, or like the subterranean theme. And I'm actually going to say they don't have the main Torvus Bog theme on here, which, nothing against this track, because it is, a remake of a track from Super Metroid, but the, above ground Torvus Bog theme is great. At the very least, they had the decency to include the Sanctuary Fortress theme. And, Quadrax is also a really good track. So they have both phases of the Emperor Ing fight. And I think the second one's better, that's just my opinion. And then, of course, Dark Samus' theme and the credits music that I've been using for all of the end slates. So that pretty much does it for all of the side content you can unlock for Prime 2. You can see we're out of the silver medals now. We can't get anything more of those. So that will do it for this bonus episode. So thank you very much for watching. I've been redxparasite, signing out.